Good evening. I am Associate Provost Jill Bryant, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2020 Combined Undergraduate-Graduate Commencement Ceremony at Hamline University, held at the St. Paul River Center. As we begin our time together today, I'd like to invite Chaplain Nancy Victor and Vangerud to give the invocation.
Gracious God, giver of life, giver of hope, in you we live and move and have our being. Here we are today gathered by the river, this beautiful river sacred to the Dakota people whose homeland we acknowledge. Like this river, we have run our course to this time and place. We have so much to celebrate. We have accomplished these degrees under conditions of struggle and perseverance. Yet, with innovation and imagination, we have researched, learned, danced, sung, and created beauty. We have determined to keep showing up each day in the world to make a difference. For we are pipers. We do the good. And it is good, so very good, to be here with our friends, our families, faculty, staff, trustees, and our leaders. The moment has arrived. So as our names are called, may we feel their dignity and grace. May we bless and honor all of our ancestors as we hear the call of future generations. We don't stand alone. Look around. We belong to one another, and we are grateful, so very grateful. Gracious God, in all your names, we pray that we may receive this day and this time with joy. Amen. Please be seated.
I'd like to take a moment to recognize our current members of the Board of Trustees. Trustees, will you please stand? Thank you for being here. There are also several groups of graduates I'd like to recognize. First are the students whose academic achievements have been exceptional. If you are graduating with Latin honors, departmental honors, participated in university honors program, or were inducted to Phi Beta Kappa or another national honor society, would you please stand and be recognized? You may be seated. Hamline has a long tradition of legacy families. In our ceremony today, those students wearing a burgundy and gray cord have a parent, grandparent, spouse, sibling, or children who also graduated from Hamline. Would legacy graduates and their families please stand and be recognized? At Hamline, we are firmly committed to supporting those who are first in their family to complete college. If you are a first-generation student graduating today, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. We would like to recognize the graduates who are also veterans. Please stand and be recognized, not only for your achievement today, but for your service to our country. Thank you. Last, but certainly not least, please stand if you are a graduate. You may be seated. Now I would like to ask Brenda Edmondson-Heim, Chair of our Board of Trustees, to bring greetings on their behalf.
Good evening. It is an honor to be here with you tonight in my official role as the Chair of the Board of Trustees of Hamline University. Welcome to this commencement, celebrating the class of 2020. You have all come to this day with a lot of hard work, a lot of study, perhaps a job or two, and filling your time with other activities. Maybe an athlete, a musician, an artist in public service, and I hope with some time for a big helping of camaraderie with your peers. Whatever it was that drew you to Hamline in the first place, this is your time to celebrate. It has not been made easier by the pandemic, but you persevered, you adapted, and you made it through. Now with your peers, your faculty, your friends, and your family, it is time to celebrate. Getting to graduation is a shared community journey. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to congratulate you for being here today. I hope that you will take your skills from your Hamline experience out and make an impact in the world. Thank you for the part you will play in the future with Hamline's values and service, compassion, leadership, and scholarship as your guiding principles. We are grateful for all that you have given us in your time at Hamline. And now we are celebrating your achievements. Congratulations.
Patty? No? That's not what it says here, but. Okay. Ray Doss, would you please come forward? Ray was selected to the 2020 class speaker over a year ago. His career at Hamline includes serving with Hamline University Student Congress as a new student mentor and working with the McVeigh Youth Partnership. He recently obtained his teaching license and is now working in that field. Please welcome Ray Doss.
Thank you. It was the summer before my senior year of high school that my grandfather passed away. While his passing rattled me, I found out shortly after that he left behind a rather unconventional inheritance. He gave unto me his lifetime's collection of journals, a massive undertaking with no explanation given whatsoever. It was a very tumultuous time to take on this type of gift. I was finishing up the first chapter of my life and beginning work on the next entry, a small liberal arts school in Minnesota. Yet with all of this change, I still committed myself to reading through my grandfather's writing. Something told me there must have been a reason for him passing along his journals. He had a message worth imparting to others. It was the night my mom and I arrived at his house to collect them that I realized just how large of an undertaking this would be. My grandfather began writing his life story when he was my age and continued to do so until the day before his death. It took many boxes filled with his composition notebooks to fully pack everything up. That night, I decided to start reading. Sitting at his desk, one I remember running up to as a little kid, then a teenager, now a young adult, I read through his final entry. He had recorded his life's triumphs as well as his hardships, leaving behind an unbelievable body of experiences. As I read his last chapter, I began to realize not only the reason I had received this gift, but the lesson that he wanted me to learn as well. We need to spend less time worried about the future and more time enjoying the present. For many, life after graduation can be very daunting. People focus so much on settling into a career that we turn away many rewarding opportunities. Each chapter of our lives is filled with tension about what the next will bring. However, the future is unpredictable. All we have is our present reality. We need to stop worrying about tomorrow and prioritize our happiness today. As a class, we did incredible things with our present reality. We realized how temporary our time at Hamline was, and we became involved early on. Many of us served in student leadership opportunities, completed research, and paved the way for incoming classes' success. We told our stories, and we found a community that accepted us for what they were. As a class, we knew the importance of what we had, and we worked to make it the best that it could be. Now, in all honesty, much of the speech I'm reading was written well over a year ago. Our world was a completely different place. And when I sat down to revise my words, I just stared at the screen. What more could possibly be said about the last year that hasn't been said already? The truth is, we don't know what the future holds. If we've learned anything, it's how unpredictable tomorrow is. What we do know is we're here now, we've accomplished a lot, and that is worth celebrating. Now, as we close this chapter of our lives and begin to write the next, I encourage us to keep our focus on the present. Tomorrow is unpredictable, so we must make the most of today. Premeditated joy will not suffice. We must accept happiness as it ebbs and flows. We cannot afford to spend young adulthood worried about finding our career for the next 50 years. Enjoy every opportunity you come across, no matter how off track it may seem. Our liberal arts education has prepared us well for this. Hamline has allowed us to be unpredictable, pairing even the most traditional majors with topics in fine arts, diversity, science, or citizenship. Now, as we go forth into the world, we must retain a continued focus in well-rounded learning. That dance class you never thought you would take could someday take the shape of a new job, opportunity, or friend you never thought you would have. Our future cannot be predicted. All we can do is remain open to whatever happens. My grandfather's life did not work out the way he planned. Many times he was dealt a reality very different than the one he anticipated. This level of unpredictability is not unique to him. It will happen to us all, yet we cannot categorize it as misfortune. Our lives will not turn out the way we think they will. We need to not only expect this, but look forward to it. It's what my grandfather learned over time, and I like to think it's what he wanted me to learn as well. Seated at his old desk, I finished reading his final journal entry. When it was written, he was in hospice, peacefully slipping away. I read the last words and set down his composition notebook, and as I started to get up, I noticed something. Just to my left, there were 3 empty journals sitting there. Now, what came next was only natural. I picked one up, I opened it, and I started writing. And I've been journaling ever since, and I encourage you all to do the same. Cherish the memories we're making today. Write them down, save them forever, and pass them along to those who will soon walk in our footsteps. We all have a priority to tell our own story. even if we never truly know what the next chapter will be. Thank you.
For 4 years or so, like each and every one of you, I've watched Ray spread his wings and soar. That is what a Hamline University education has allowed each of you to do, to soar, to experience those things you never thought you might experience. We're so proud of each and every last one of you. I often forget to tell you who I am, so now I'll begin and introduce myself. I am Dr. Fenice Miller, president of Hamley University, and I've had the pleasure of being in this position for 6 years. I've served with some extraordinary people, the trustees who give of their time and their energy. Every single time. They never say no. And I thank each and every last one of you for all you do on behalf of this university. Thank you. It is an honor and a pleasure to add my voice of congratulations to the many you've heard since your May 2020 graduation. You asked that we hold a commencement in person. We heard you. We heard you. You deserved this opportunity, and we wanted to make sure that you got the chance to process, that you got a chance to raise your voices to the rafters and cheer and glory as you shared with your families what you have accomplished. We hope, as you go out, that you remember who you are, a piper. And the pipers take the lead, don't we? I didn't hear you. Don't we? Yeah, we do. We take the lead. We take the lead in so many ways. Commencement to a Hamline graduate means a lot. So many of you worked several jobs. Many of you were deployed while you were a student. Some of you were responsible for other people, a child, a sibling, a parent, a grandparent, whomever it was. You did it well. As you tried to juggle your responsibilities as a caregiver and your responsibilities as a student. But you sacrificed, you did what you needed to do, and you got here. Now, we say you got here today, but you got here May 2020. We're just celebrating you today. You got here, you did it, you did it. You've accomplished something that no one can ever take away from you. You've accomplished something that will allow you to go out and do any and everything you want to do. I like to say, if you can think it, you can do it. So remember that. If you can think it, you can do it. Never let anyone tell you that you can't. If someone tells you you're not good enough, guess what? They're talking about themselves, not you, because you are amazing individuals. It has not been easy. During your time as a student, the world changed. The nation changed. Not just now, not just in March in 2020. It started long before then. It started when you matriculated here at Hamline University, when you cast that first vote as a student in 2016, and you put Hamline on the map as the institution in the nation with the largest percentage of students who vote. That's a Hamline University student, someone who knows what it means to be civically engaged, someone who doesn't sit back and wait for someone else to do, someone who takes it upon themselves to do. You show the world who you are. You show the world what you can do. You show the world that you will not be stopped. You show the world that you have grit and fortitude. You showed the world. As students, some of you have had to endure policy changes that impacted your family. You remember January 2017, the travel ban. Some of you had no idea if you'd ever see your family again. And if you would see your family, when would you see them? When would you get to hold their hand? When would you get to say, I love you? When would you get to go home? You didn't know. You didn't know. And I could go on and on about the things that occurred over this time period. But you endured. You endured. You let nothing stand in your way. You never gave up hope. And then, the major whammy, COVID-19. Lives were lost. So many lives were lost. Some of you knew people who are no longer with us. We were not able to connect with another human being. To do so meant that we put them in jeopardy. And what we always say, care for others as you care for yourself. So we knew that we had to social distance in order to be safe. We had to do that. You or a family member was furloughed or lost a job. Life was already hard, but it got a little harder. Yet in the midst of it all, you persevered. You wore the mask, you social distanced, you accepted that social interactions would be different. You did it all, and you didn't complain. You didn't complain when May 2020 came around, when you would have your commencement. You didn't complain that you couldn't have it. You accepted the fact that life had changed. You only said to us, when you can do it, please do it. That's what you said to us. You see, you had a goal in mind. No matter the pandemic, you had a goal in mind. And nothing was going to stop you from getting your degree. No pandemic would stop you from preparing for the next leg in your journey. You never gave up. And now you're able to celebrate the fact that you stayed the course, you stayed strong. As I look out among you today, I see the Hamline of today. I see the Hamline of tomorrow. I see a rainbow of people. I see the nation in your faces. I see what we could be if we embrace all that we truly believe in. If we believe that all people are created equal, that all people are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I would tell you, I grew up in elementary school reciting those words. I took those words to heart. I believed in those words, and I still do. I still do. But I need your help. We need your help in realizing the true meaning of those words, because we're not quite there. We recite these words, and most of us believe them. But the murder of Mr. George Floyd, and whenever you hear me refer to him, I will always refer to him as Mr. George Floyd. That's how I grew up, showing respect and understanding and appreciation when we give of ourselves to others, no matter the reason. But the murder of Mr. George Floyd called into question what we believe, what we thought we had accomplished with the first civil rights movement. And as a child, I can tell you, I witnessed firsthand that first civil rights movement. You see, my parents were civil rights workers. They marched. They told me they marched because they believed in a world that was going to be better for me and my siblings than the world in which they had grown up in. They believed that what they were doing was going to make a difference, and it did. It did. But we never achieved all of what we hope to achieve. We got a lot of work left to do. But I will say this, I saw you, our Hamline students, stand with others in front of the governor's house, Hamline's house. Because if you don't know, Hamline's house is across from the governor's house. So when you stood in front of the governor's house, you were standing in front of Hamline's house. I saw you pour out your heart for social justice, for a nation that will live up to the ideals, not for some, but for all. I saw you through the eyes of the late Congressman John Lewis as he remarked upon the many social justice protests occurring around the world, as he remarked upon the rainbow of people coming together to act, to do. A man lying on the ground with a knee to his neck, calling on his mother for help. He said, "This is a new civil rights movement." And you know, when Congressman Lewis said those words, I believed him. I believed him, and I still do. I still do. Because you are some of the more amazing people I've ever had the pleasure of coming into contact with. Your heart is big. You are our hope for the future. You challenge those of us here at Hamline to take a look at what we do, to question our actions, policies, and practices. We did not always agree, but we heard you. When you complained about what we were doing in the classroom, when you complained about whether we were responding appropriately to actions or behaviors that occurred on our campus, we heard you. We heard you. And we thank you for making sure that we continue to hear you. But I will say this to you, we won't always get it right. We won't always respond fast enough. We won't always do what you want us to do. But we will always do what we hope, what we believe is the right thing for you. We will always do what is in our heart. We will always put you first, our students, the Pipers. We hired a vice president for inclusive excellence because of you. You pushed. We began a series of critical conversations around race, gender, sexuality, class, and religion. We tried and are still trying to transform our campus. We'll get there. The road might be rocky. It won't be straight. It'll be windy. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Because of you. Because of what you believe in. Because of what you encouraged us to do. Because you say what you say we must do. We in higher education have been reluctant to speak out about those issues that should matter to us all. But you, our students, You haven't been reluctant at all. We've been careful not to offend those whose views might be different from our own, to understand and appreciate different viewpoints, life perspectives. You do. You understand those differences, and you give the rest of us hope. We're proud of you. We hope we've done our job well. We hope we've taught you to be more than tolerant. We hope you are tolerant, because being tolerant is a hallmark of education. And I say we've witnessed intolerance in our nation. We know what it looks like, and it's not pretty. But a Hamlin education should teach you, should encourage you, should push you to be tolerant of whomever is in front of you. I know it can be hard when someone says something you don't believe. But remember what your mama taught you. Be respectful. Be proud. Speak your mind. But do it in a way that's informed. Do it in a way that shows who you are. Do it in a way that gives us hope for the future. We continue to do our job. But I say to you, make sure your voice stays strong. A strong voice is a voice that brings about change. A strong voice is one that gets heard. A strong voice means that you are not silenced, and you will never be silenced. We hope we've helped you find your own truth. We hope we've encouraged you, gave you the tools, the means to speak truth to power. As I was writing these words, I was reminded of words spoken by the Russian novelist and activist Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I discovered him when I was in high school, and I was blown away by his writings. I discovered Elie Wiesel when I was in high school, blown away by the humanity in those words, blown away by the message that they wanted each of us to hear, to take to heart. And if you've not had a chance to read the body of work that helps frame the mind, that feeds your soul, please do. Please do. Solzhenitsyn, in his 1970 Nobel Peace Prize speech, which he was not allowed to give, he said this, and I quote, "One word of truth outweighs the world." Think about that. One word of truth outweighs the world. We need truth. We should always speak truth. For are we not institutions of higher learning? Is it not our job to help you find your truth as you speak confidently with conviction? Is it not our job to educate you? And I hope we did it well. To give you the tools to speak out against injustice. Is it not our job to make you uncomfortable? When you are uncomfortable, you are thinking. When you are comfortable, you're learning. When you're uncomfortable, you're changing. I say to you that uncomfortableness encourages critical thinking. Uncomfortableness causes you to ask questions. Uncomfortableness gets you to think back to what I said before about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Don't we all deserve liberty? I think we do. Do we not tell you, our students, to find your voice? We do. Then we, faculty, staff, must find our own. It's important that we speak up as well. We must be willing to do as the late Senator John McCain did at a Lakeville High School in Minnesota during a town hall meeting when a woman in the audience said, "I cannot trust Obama. I've read about him. He's an Arab." Senator McCain stops her and he says, "He's a decent family man, a citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues." And he says further, this is what this campaign is all about. We can be different, but we have the same goals in mind. We might not get there in the same way, but we have the same goals in mind. Our campaign in Hamline, for the years you've been with us, have been to prepare you to speak the truth, as McCain did, as Solzhenitsyn said we must. It has been our mission to prepare you for the world of work and life in general, to help you appreciate what it means to be part of a civil society. Our campaign has been to equip you with the skills, the knowledge to make a difference. Our campaign has been to help you solidify your identity, who you are, what you stand for, to help you turn possibilities into opportunities, to encourage the use of your voice to live a just and moral life, to give you hope. You can change the world. We need you to change the world. But this will not happen unless you demand more of yourself. James Baldwin, when discussing a conversation between Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, said, "The hope of the world lies in what one demands, not of others, but of oneself." Demand more of yourself, give more of yourself, and take nothing less for yourself. The work you are prepared to do, that you are doing, we hope, has been greatly influenced by the people you came into contact with here at Hamline University, the books you read, the assignments you were given, the research projects you did, the service you gave through McVeigh, the Wesley Center, Hedgeman Center, as a student leader with Husk, as a scholar athlete, as a member of Theta Chi, Delta Tau, honors program, honor societies, a graduate student. We asked you to live the values of John Wesley, to do all the good you can, and you did. I hope you know that you, by virtue of what you choose to do, and the people with whom you interact, have the power to bring about change through understanding and appreciating differences, by being open-minded and generating new knowledge. You have the ability to remind us of the power of love and the wonders of hope. As we become a nation that is more just, more equitable, more inclusive, we move closer to a world where liberty, respect, and equality have true meaning, and consequently observable actions that impact policy and relationships. You are educators, poets, authors, scientists, criminal justice advocates, financial analysts, data analysts, nonprofit workers, humanists. I see graduate, law, and medical students among us. I see the hope for this nation. Use your knowledge to change the world. Use your knowledge to fight against injustice. Use your knowledge to fight for us all. Find a way to include other voices as you find a way to make your voice heard. The pandemic has not stopped you from speaking out. against injustice, inequality, inequity, exclusion. We are proud of you for standing up, showing up, and being heard. You, Hamlin Pipers, remember the words of Maya Angelou. You may encounter defeat, but you must not be defeated. A Hamlin Piper is not defeated. You are ready for whatever life throws your way. You are Hamlin Pipers, and we congratulate you.
Good evening. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science from the College of Liberal Arts please rise? Will the candidates for the degree of Master in the Study of Law, Master of Fine Arts in Writing in the College of Liberal Arts please rise? Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor and Master of Arts from the School of Education please rise? President Miller, the faculty has recommended these students for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science, and the candidates for Doctor, Master of Arts, Master in the Study of Law, and Master of Fine Arts in Writing, and the recommendation has been approved. It is my pleasure to present them to you and ask that you could confer upon them their degrees.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration from the School of Business please rise? Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Public Administration, Master of Business Administration, Master of Nonprofit Management, Master of Science and Business Analytics, and Master of Public Administration please rise? President Miller, the faculty has recommended these students for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration and Doctor of Public Administration, Master of Business Administration, Master of Nonprofit Management, Master of Science and Business Analytics, and Master of Public Administration. And the recommendation has been approved. It is my pleasure to present them to you and ask that you confer upon them their degrees. First row of graduates, will you please come forward, and the rest of you may be seated.
Curtis Graham Ulrich, Doctorate in Public Administration. Vicky Una Johnson, Doctorate in Education.
Fadila Abdallah Adam, Doctorate in Education. Anthony Eberhard Drummond, Bachelor of Fine Arts, cum laude. Blake R. Giroux, Bachelor of Arts. Alex Nishimura Aguirre, Bachelor of Arts. Lance Patrick Pedersen, Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude with distinction in history. Sarah Marie Westad, Master of Arts in Teaching. Madison Diane Bigd, Bachelor of Science, magna cum laude with distinction in biochemistry. Brandon Lee Frenette, Master of Arts in Teaching. Trenton William Johnson, Bachelor of Business Administration. Blanca Maritza Crespin, Master of Fine Arts in Writing. Tracy Lee Valbuena, Master of Arts in Teaching. Tegan Villagod Langanis, Bachelor of Arts. Madison Lorraine Jean Beckstrand, Bachelor of Arts. Valeria Tapia Cheetah, Master of Arts in Teaching. Adrian Renee Novi, Bachelor of Fine Arts. Jordan Patrick Toth, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude. Bailey Westbrook Kump, Bachelor of Business Administration, cum laude. Teresa A. Mitchell, Master of Public Administration. Melanie Venn, Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude. Gabriela Natalie Diaz, Bachelor of Arts. Isaac Paul Den, Bachelor of Arts. Missy Ruth Parker, Master of Arts in Education, Natural Science, and Environmental Education. Giselle Mercado, Master of Nonprofit Management. Elise Ann Cole, Master of Fine Arts in Writing. Jennifer J. Filardo, Master of Fine Arts in Writing. Grace Sue Uhlenkott, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude. Elise Marie Brissell, Bachelor of Arts. Edgar Juarez Lopez, Bachelor of Science. Kelsey Lynn Peterson, Master of Arts in Literacy Education.
Amy Lynn Tai, Master of Arts in Literacy Education. Elsa Grace Cook Shea, Master of Nonprofit Management. Jennifer Faye Keeley, Bachelor of Arts. Kayla Nicole Howard, Bachelor of Business Administration, summa cum laude. Hannah Marie Mayhew, Bachelor of Arts. Catherine Lind Barron, Master of Arts in English as a Second Language. Caitlin Marie Joyce, Master of Arts in Teaching. Sherelle Simone Hinton, Bachelor of Arts. Bahia Maher Manasra, Master of Public Administration and Master of Nonprofit Management, dual degree. Kara Jean Kruger, Bachelor of Business Administration. Gina Marie Cruz, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude. Sarah G. Feinberg, Master of Arts in Teaching. Sarah Jane Bowdy, Master of Arts in Teaching. Elizabeth Marie Polanco, Master in the Study of Law. Margaret Rose Gorilla, Master of Arts in Teaching. Allison Emily Krasinski, Master of Arts in Teaching. Sophia Grace Anderson, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude. Emmanuel Jones, Bachelor of Arts. Esau Alexander Magne, Master of Public Administration. Stephanie Nicole Villanueva Esplana, Bachelor of Arts, University Honors, cum laude. Caitlin Jenna Pluff, Bachelor of Arts. Rubina May Regan, Bachelor of Arts, summa cum laude. Gabriella Ariana Ronenberg, Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude. Shayna Ann Hogland, Master of Arts in Teaching. Carissa Lisa Feist Curtis, Master of Arts in Teaching. Joseph Clifford Augustine Miller, Master of Business Administration. Claudia Milena Hondlik, Master of Arts in Literacy Education. Aurora Christine Payne, Bachelor of Arts. Carissa Ann Thompson, Master of Arts in Teaching. Amy Ng, Master of Business Administration. Mary Louise Moga, Master of Arts in English as a Second Language. Elena K. Bagenstas, Bachelor of Arts. Sydney Leon Holitz, Bachelor of Fine Arts, summa cum laude. Kiera Tatiana Newson, Bachelor of Arts. Eloha Christy Egby, Bachelor of Business Administration, magna cum laude. Maryama Abdul Karim Mohammed, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude. Christian Sampson, Bachelor of Arts. Teresa Raybon Hardiman, Bachelor of Arts.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Business Administration from the College of Liberal Arts and the School of Business please rise? Upon the recommendation of the faculty, with the approval of the trustees of the Hamline University of Minnesota, and with the authority vested in me as president by the trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Business Administration, with all the rights, duties, and privileges thereunto appertaining. Congratulations, graduates. You remove your tassels. Will the candidates for the degree of Master in the Study of Law, Master of Fine Arts in Writing in the College of Liberal Arts please rise? Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor and Master of Arts in the School of Education please rise? Upon the recommendation of the faculty, with the approval of the trustees of the Hamline University of Minnesota, and with the authority vested in me as president by the trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor, Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts in Writing, and Master in the Study of Law, with all the rights, duties, and privileges thereunto appertaining. Congratulations. You may be seated. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Public Administration, Master of Business Administration, Master of Nonprofit Management, Master of Science and Business Analytics, and Master of Public Administration from the School of Business please rise? Upon the recommendation of the faculty, with the approval of the trustees of the Hamline University of Minnesota, and with authority vested in me as president by the trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Public Administration, Master of Business Administration, Master of Nonprofit Management, Master of Science and Business Analytics, and Master of Public Administration, with all the rights, duties, and privileges thereunto appertaining. Congratulations. You have a job to do. You have a voice to raise. And we at Hamline University support you with every step you take. We are very proud of you. And we say to each of you, hold dear the words of John Wesley. Do all the good you can, because when you succeed, we all succeed. When you do well, we all do well. We are so very proud of each and every last one of you.
Let's stand for the benediction. Thank you. So now that we have been here, heard our name called, walked forward and across the stage, received the right of our accomplishments, we now go forth adorned with new identities. Graduate, degree bearer, alum, yet also still a piper. Pipers belong together, so we go forward together with courage and humility, confidence and curiosity. Even though there is unpredictability and change, we will hold on to our cherished ideals, our hopes, and words of truth. We will hear the call to do and to be the good for all people. Though the destination is not yet clear, we can trust the promise of this opening. May we unfurl ourselves into the grace of beginning that is at one with our life's happiness. We will take care of ourselves and others. Keep our spirits awake to adventure. Soon we will home in new rhythms for our hearts sense the world that awaits us. So may God bless you and keep you. May God's holy face shine upon you and be gracious unto you this day and forevermore. Go in peace. Amen.